Ensign R. Black made a remarkable carrier landing on the USS Yorktown in 1944. His Grumman F-6F Hellcat was badly damaged over the island of Palau, which led to a sideways landing that sheared off the tail and one wing. Woodstock, the opening ceremony, Bethel, New York, August 14, 1969. A Victorian home is being moved by boat in Tiburon, California in 1957. So before AutoCAD, urban planning was done manually. The process started with field surveys, where a team collected data using instruments to measure distances, angles, and elevations. This information was then used to create maps and plans by hand. Drafting tables, pencils, and rulers were essential tools. They also used specialized tools such as French curves and planimeters. Mapping was done at a variety of scales. The tools were often simple, but the work was meticulous and time-consuming. Russian emigrants and Japanese generals gathered for an all-Russian fascist party celebration in Harbin, Japanese-occupied Manchuria, in 1934. They're having a laugh in the 1800s, around the 1900s. An authentic photo of Billy the Kid playing croquet in 1878. The Panama Slide in Coney Island's Steeplechase Park. It was built around 1908. This was in New York City, USA. The Inuit blanket toss, also known as Nalukatak, is a traditional celebration of the Inupiat people of northern Alaska from 1965. Animals assist in medical therapy sessions, highlighting their role in promoting patient well-being, 1956. Main Street in Los Angeles in 1897. Ugandan Asians in the Netherlands after being expelled by Idi Amin on November 24, 1972. Craniofacial injury, a French soldier with a wounded mouth and cheek before plastic surgery. Photograph, 1917. Cindy Crawford and Claudia Schiffer for Revlon, the 90s. Jennifer Aniston in the 1990s. There's a car with a shovel for pedestrians. The whole point is to cut down on the number of casualties among pedestrians. This was in Paris in 1924. Alright, let's talk about the Rudge Whitworth canoe sidecar from the 1920s. An X-ray of Albert Fish's pelvis reveals needles he had inserted into his pelvic area for pleasure. An exhibit called The Land Calls You is about the German colonization of Poland. It features a painting. The painting shows a settler's wagon going past a Polish border sign that's been knocked down. This painting is shown to German schoolchildren. It's a wood-chopping or ice coloritza contest in De Beir in the Basque country of Spain back in 1949. That's a large alligator, and it's from Louisiana in the 1870s. The text says this monster weighs almost 400 kilograms. What a dinosaur! A driver is changing a flat tyre on a Model T coupe, which just highlights the everyday challenges of early car ownership back in 1927. A logging train in Oregon's Cascade Mountains from 1906. It was held in 1903. This is what the first ever Tour de France looked like. Joseph Stalin casting his vote in the 1937 Supreme Soviet election, in which the CPSU coalition won 99% of the vote. German youths in 1925 wear bike tyres that they've repurposed as swimming aids. J. Edgar Hoover, the founder of the FBI, with his assistant and alleged lover, Clyde Tolson, around 1939. Unveiling the Cenotaph in London in 1920. During World War II, women took on roles that were previously held by men. They became welders in factories. This was a part of the war effort. There were many women doing this work. Hairdresser's Hot Dog, California, 1960. Orson Welles and his assistant George, also known as Shorty Chiarello, are pulling Rita Hayworth out of a box. This is during a magic trick reveal at the debut of Welles's Mercury Wonder show. It happened on August 3rd, 1943. The last international bad boys, French football icon Eric Cantona and Hollywood superstar Mickey Rourke, 1988. A woman and a gondolier are in gas masks. They're aboard a gondola on the Grand Canal in Venice. This was in 1940, symbolising wartime air raid fears in Italy during World War II. Monica Bellucci, 1990. Let's see what some of the world leaders looked like as children. Alright, fancy roping at a cowboys camp in Oklahoma. Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5, 1970. London, Children and Dog, approximately 1955. Alright, let's talk about walking practice at the polio hospital in 1953. Diana comforts Sir Elton John at the wake of the late Gianni Versace in 1997. Two men are riding in a three-wheeled Messerschmitt 1954. Strongman Tom Joyce, this invention turned the top of a person's vehicle into their own private sleeping quarters in the 1950s. For Paris Match 1961. Cindy Crawford in Hawaii, 1988. An Inuit man is wearing snow goggles in Canada, 1921. An Army Sikorsky R-5 helicopter undergoing record trials demonstrates its lifting power. It's carrying 17 people and the pilot aloft as female onlookers wave. This happened in Bridgeport, Connecticut on January 10, 1946. Pickle Party, July 1939. There's a sign tacked to a pole near the post office. This is on Main Street in Pittsboro, North Carolina. Charlie Chaplin, caught in a creative moment during the production of A King in New York, his final leading role in 1957. Umbrella Rock on Lookout Mountain in Tennessee in the 1900s. Jane Russell's first Western was Outlaws. She was an American actress, a sex symbol of the 1940s and early 1950s. Tears streamed down the cheeks of accordion-playing Chief Petty Officer, or U.S. Navy, Graham Jackson, as President Franklin D. Roosevelt's flag-draped funeral train left Warm Springs, Georgia, on April 13, 1945. Amelia Earhart sits in the cockpit of her Lockheed Electra right before embarking on her second attempt to circle the equator. Earhart and her co-pilot Frederick Noonan would not return from this voyage, 1937. Stalin, wearing Central Asian clothing, met with leading kolkhoz workers from Tajikistan in 1935. It's a demonstration of the cantilever principle of the Fourth Bridge from 1887. A Japanese torpedo bomber explodes in the air after a direct hit by a 5-inch shell from a US aircraft carrier. This happened as the bomber attempted an unsuccessful attack on the carrier off Kwajalein in 1943. No women, Dutch soldiers were drawing a Kilroy meme on another soldier's raincoat in Indonesia in 1948. Vivian Leigh as Cleopatra, 1945. A Norwegian bride in her traditional clothes in 1897. Thursday, April 10th, 1947. The assembly line of a Ford plant is halted for the day of Henry Ford's funeral. All right, Grace Kelly. Sean Connery is on a water taxi in Venice in 1970. Kenworth model KH0, 1935. A Sikorsky YR-4B HNS-1 helicopter, the first mass-produced chopper in the 30x60 full-scale tunnel, 1944. Members of Alpha Kappa Alpha, a historically black sorority, Delta Chapter 1930, at the University of Kansas. The Golden West. Around 1933, Hollywood child stars Shirley Temple and Baby Leroy are buying tickets for a showing of It Ain't No Sin starring Mae West. Boston, 1978, hammered by a blizzard. The storm dumped over 27 inches of snow on the city, with even higher drifts in some spots. It was absolutely brutal. The first ever international tennis match happened at Wimbledon in 1883. An American soldier is harassing a Japanese woman in Sapporo, American-occupied Japan, in January 1946. They were amusing themselves while waiting for the morning papers in 1908 New York. Bill Gates, during his 1977 arrest for driving without a license. A 100th birthday. Adolf Hitler, 35 years old, on his release from Landesberg prison, 1924. Georgian Kevser warriors wore their traditional combat gear during the early 1900s, when they were still active. Thousands of senior citizens gathered to protest budget cuts before City Hall in Manhattan, New York City in May 1991. Stephen Hawking's reading a newspaper at 21 years old on May 17, 1963. American pilots arresting with a Japanese skull in 1944. In the village of Volendam, Netherlands, 1947. The governments of the Soviet Union and the Empire of Japan signed the Neutrality Pact on April 13, 1941. It was a 5-year agreement of non-aggression. Later, the Soviet side terminated it in 1945 because of the Yalta Agreements. a tattoo artist in New York, 1920s. There's a picture of two boys with monkeys. One boy is holding a monkey, the other boy is also holding a monkey. Kate Moss in the 1990s. A young girl, maybe 4 years old, sits with her doll. She's wearing a light-coloured dress and has long, dark hair. The doll, dressed in a long, frilly gown, sits beside her. The girl looks directly at the camera. She's seated in a small chair. The doll is in a similar chair, the background is out of focus. A woman stands while riding her motorcycle. It's the 1920s. Geisha School, Japan, 1951. The armed cowboy militias, or vaqueanos, were in Brazil's Contestado War, which happened in 1912. Catherine Deneuve in Venice. She's wearing a black dress and a white hat. She's in a boat. She's with a man. He's wearing a suit. They are smiling. There are many buildings. The water is blue. It is a beautiful day. A blind woman relaxes at the local swimming pool watched over by her guide dog in 1966. So, for the 1948 elections, NBC filmed their TV title card. Cow shoes. They were used by moonshiners during Prohibition days to disguise their footprints. This was in 1924. Instructors from the Karen National Liberation Army were training Burmese students. They were teaching them how to use the M1601 rifle. This happened after the students had fled the government crackdowns on the 1988 protests. The Iranian people removed the Shah's statue at the University of Tehran in 1978. There's a hut on a raft floating on the Volga. It's the 1900s. Sean Penn, 1982. Pharaoh's daughters, water carriers, Egypt. Playtime. There are two children, a boy and a girl. They are playing outside. The boy is holding a blue ball, the girl is holding a yellow ball. They look happy. On May 7th, 1937, the morning after the fateful crash, the wreckage of the Hindenburg lies on the ground, surrounded by people, in Lakehurst, New Jersey. An automatic tip requester, invented in 1955 by Russell E. Oakes. This device saw hotel bellhops as its key market. It would say no sale if the tip was too low. Sunglasses in the 1960s. John Walter Christie showed the world a machine that could run at 45 miles per hour and switch from tracks to wheels. The US Army deemed the project too expensive, but Christie's ideas inspired the Soviet BT and T-34 tanks. Capitol Hill, 1929. So there's this phone-answering robot from 1964. There's a photo of two drunken women fighting on a rooftop in London around 1902. A Zeppelin flies over Berlin in 1915. David Bowie in the 1970s. Arnold Schwarzenegger and George W. Bush are sledding down a mountain in 1991. A French woman, with her head shaved, is being punished for associating with German soldiers. This happened in France in 1944. Get Off My Lawn, 1950. New York, around 1905, there's a bulldog on the beach at Coney Island. Christmas Party on Bondi Beach, Sydney, 1959. Ab Jenkins is sitting inside his Mormon Meteor on the Bonneville Salt Flats in the late 1930s. Raquel Welch, 1969. So here we have PSA flight attendants from around the 1970s. A life-sized handmade doll, Venezuela, 1954. The irrepressible Australians at Anzac, an Australian bringing a wounded comrade to the hospital. This happened during the Dardanelles campaign, around 1915.